Today is Wednesday, April 22nd, Earth Day. Happy Earth Day to everybody. This is the 37th day going live straight. I'm going to talk about some stuff that's in production on Team Flynn right now, as well as the idea of repurposing, the pros and cons of it. We're going to get into Q&A. I'm going to answer your questions. We're going to do a couple website reviews and do some final remarks as well. Thanks for being here and welcome to the income stream.
This is the income stream to help you achieve your dream, all while we keep it clean. This is the income stream. It's the kind of show where you can come and go, but then you leave inspired with no fee required. The income stream with Pat Flynn.
Welcome in, everybody. Thank you so much for being here today. Big shout out to Samson, who's been here 37 days in a row, which is really insane. But everybody else here, you're amazing too, because I've seen the same people in every single stream. And there's also some new people who are in the house as well. Welcome in, everybody. I appreciate you being here. We got Louis B, Absalom. We got Jennifer of Technogen. All of my sweetness, or with all of my sweetness. We got Ern in the house. Happy Green Day. By the way, Green Day is one of my favorite bands from back in the day. I grew up in I think they're a Bay Area band, and I went to school up in the Bay Area, which is really cool. Rhino Dog in the house, Denya Vlada, KS, Martin, to both Martin and Coach Constance, thank you so much for the super chats that came in earlier. I appreciate you for that. Thank you for the thumbs down, by the way. I'm always looking for those to make sure it doesn't look too nice in here. So thank you so much. So a couple things I want to talk about. I want to talk a little bit about some of the stuff that's in motion right now on Team SPI and Team Flynn, some of the stuff that we're working on. One thing that I wanted to try and experiment with, and I'm actually going to experiment with this tomorrow because it has to do with repurposing. You know, we've been coming out with a lot of videos, and the videos have been doing really well, especially because they're very relevant to the times today. So one video that I just hit send on and sent to my editor is related to specifically the things that have happened since going live for 30 plus days straight. It's called I Went Live for 30 Days Straight, Here's What Happened. And I cannot wait to share, especially for those of you who are here, all the cool things that have happened since going live on YouTube. And there's been some good stuff. There's been some not so good stuff. It's mostly on the good side of things, of course. And I do give some shout outs to some of you here in the room. But it's been really fun and neat to go live for 30 days straight. And I do talk about views. I do talk about revenue. And also, I do talk about community in that video. So that's going to be coming out probably on Friday. But I am also wanting to create a video about some of the new business opportunities that have now arisen as a result of the stuff that's going on in the world right now. Like, you think of different niches, like, you know, parent niche. Parents have had a whole new set of problems that weren't around before that they're looking for solutions about. You look at even corporations. Corporations have a whole new set of problems. Everybody working from home and trying to keep them staying productive. So there's a whole new set of business ideas and opportunities that have come out as a result of this. And as we're always talking about, you know, what does this make possible? This could be the start of a lot of people's new businesses. And so one thing that I want to experiment with tomorrow is I'm going to try to do something that I once learned from Chalene Johnson. And this is something that involves repurposing, but not in a way that you might think. So repurposing means taking content that you've already created and then turning it into something else. And I'm actually experimenting with that here on the income stream as well. We are taking clips from the income stream about specific topics, because we talk about a wide range of topics here, of course. And then I pop them into the income stream YouTube channel specifically for clips. And these clips have been performing okay. I mean, there's 140 subscribers there. The name of that channel is The Income Stream Clips. In fact, I think I can pull it up here for you on YouTube and just share with you what I'm talking about. It's experimental, and I don't imagine that this is going to take off right away. But it is something that's really interesting because, hey, we have all this amazing content here, thanks to you and your amazing questions and the website reviews. But as you can see here, not there, that's me. This is the Income Stream Clips YouTube channel, 144 subscribers. If I go to videos, and thanks to Dan Norton, who's repurposing a lot of the stuff here, I just took a bunch of photos at one moment to make these thumbnails. And it's very much in the same vein as the JRE Clips channel here on YouTube, Joe Rogan Experience Clips. And a lot of times, those are the things that helped me discover a lot of his larger shows and a lot of his larger shows that have guests on them. But we have some videos here that have done very well. 87 views here, 39. So essentially starting a new channel from scratch here. But yeah, it's going okay, but it's not like hitting it out of the park. But it's one of those things that likely is going to take a little bit of time to see any results from. But I'm very thankful to have those there because now, for example, if a person asks a question via email, so this is a form of repurposing. If somebody asks a question similar to one I've answered on the income stream, well, I can just point them to a video. And now they might be interested in learning more about the regular show here every morning. So that's kind of cool, and I like that. And so we're almost building a library of answers that even if this doesn't necessarily pick up on YouTube, like, by the way, there's a chance that some of these videos could do really well and get found and pop, like, you know, one in every, I don't know how many, but it at least provides an opportunity to answer questions in a different way versus just, you know, typing out an email. It makes it easier for my assistant to go in and answer those emails too, which is really cool. And yes, today we're doing an early start simply because on Wednesdays I have a mastermind meeting that actually starts at the half-hour mark after 8 p.m. Or 8 a.m., so 8:30 a.m., but I arrived 15 minutes late. So instead of arriving 30 minutes late, I've sort of shifted everything sort of 15 minutes earlier for Wednesday and Wednesday only. But that kind of repurposing is just taking something that's already done and finding the parts in it and then taking that in and sharing it. And of course, these things, like I said, do really well on social media too. Tomorrow, if you're here, I'm going to be experimenting because what I want to do is something that I learned from Chalene Johnson. And she does these on Facebook very well. I want to try it here on YouTube. So what she does is she comes in live. She communicates just like we're communicating right now. We're having fun and I'm addressing the audience and whatnot. And then at a moment in the middle of the live show, she goes, okay, guys, like sit back and relax. I'm not going to be interacting with you for the next 10 to 15 minutes, but I'm actually going to be recording my podcast right now, and you'll get like a behind the scenes of it, which is really cool. So she'll actually go for like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and then she'll come back after and then talk with the audience about that topic that she talked about. And what she does is afterwards, she has this very clean section in the middle of her live stream that she can rip out and put into her podcast. And it sounds great. It sounds just like a podcast. Everybody who was there live gets a little behind the scenes. And I want to do something similar tomorrow. So tomorrow, I'm going to be coming up with multiple business ideas that might have come about as a result of this recession and all the things that are happening in the world right now. And you're going to be able to watch me essentially film this live. I don't know if it means I'm going to be making mistakes during it and restarting, and you'll get to see the behind the scenes of sort of how I produce a video like that, or if I might be able to do it in sort of one take. But I'm going to start the show just like starting the show today. I'm going to let you know when I'm about to hit record, essentially, or hit record on that video. And then I'm going to go for 10 to 15 minutes, and we will see how that goes. BG is, or Baron Art is asking, is background a green screen, right? This is not a green screen. No, not a green screen. Not a green screen. So you're going to get the behind the scenes of me shooting video, and my goal would be to, in the same day, ripping that video out of the income stream, right? And then posting it on YouTube and you seeing the final product shortly thereafter. Now, I don't know how much sooner after because I have some meetings and stuff going on in the morning, but I think that'd be kind of fun. And that way we can see, can we actually create a solid standalone YouTube video in the middle of a live stream, thus killing two birds with one stone, right? Or feeding two birds with one scone, I once heard. Yeah. Anyway, welcome in today. We're going to have some fun. A couple more things to share with you really quick. I did add on this page here, not that page, this page. So if you go to, man, I'm clicking all the wrong things today. Here we go. So smartpassiveincome.com/toolkit is where you'll want to go if you want to check out this page here. And this page is a emergency page for those of us who are starting or have started businesses and are trying to manage it during this crisis. We've added a new emergency podcast episode. This is an interview with Stu McLaren talking about the huge opportunity right now for building membership communities. And that's his jam. That's what he's doing. And actually, my team and I are working with him to talk about that for SPI. But he's talking about a lot of his members, a lot of his students are actually thriving in this sort of environment. And it's for a couple of reasons. Number one, people are consuming a lot more. But number two, memberships in particular are filling the gap or the need of, community and having people come together. So there's huge opportunities in building a membership website at some point, and we go over a lot of the how to do it, does it make sense for you, how to validate it, how to run a founders members launch. And then he also has some other great resources there too. So make sure you check out that. I think it'll be really fun to see how we might be able to discover the membership website opportunities that are available to us right now. And in fact, he's going to be running some free stuff, a whole extensive workshop for the next week or so. If you go to smartpassiveincome.com/tribe, smartpassiveincome.com/tribe, that'll take you to his stuff. And I couldn't recommend it more. Like, his stuff is absolutely amazing. By the way, thank you all for the super chats that are coming in. That's really neat. Rafal with a $2.99 super chat. Let's see. There was a couple that I missed here that I want to make sure I give a shout out to. Rhino Dog, $5 from Rhino Dog. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate you. Been working on the 0 to 100 day challenge and been overwhelmed by the responses to asking for their email. Was nervous of the rejection. So that's a good thing, right? Like, you didn't think you would get very many emails, and you're taking this challenge, which is also available, by the way. It's free at smartpassiveincome.com/toolkit, and you're getting an overwhelming response. Like, congratulations, Rhino Dog. I think that's really amazing. And it shows you, like, you don't know unless you try. And as you can see, you don't even need to pay any money to get people interested in what you have going on. You just need to take the action to get it up there and checking it out and trying it and giving it a shot. Because you don't want to miss your shots. That's and there's a lot of things that are possible for people right now, which is really cool. We got the Kids Cooking School. Thank you so much for this super chat. By the way, the super chats aren't required. They're sort of like paid comments that get highlighted. I'll address them, obviously. They get shown on the screen here. And all that money that comes in via super chat is going to get put to where it's actually needed, which is the San Diego Food Bank, to help those who are in need right now. So thank you for that, the Kids Cooking School. Tried to go live for 30 days a couple times in the last year to build my channel, but hard to sustain with only 1 to 3 people watching. Any advice? Well, number one, it's going to be light at the start, of course. But number two, I think that we can do some work to help people understand sort of what they can look forward to that they wouldn't want to miss, right? It depends on, and of course I wasn't there, but you might have benefited more by helping people understand maybe the plan moving forward. Hey, tomorrow we're going to talk about this. So if you're on my email list, you haven't checked them out yet, or if you're here watching live today, here's what we're planning on talking about tomorrow and why you wouldn't want to miss it. Marketing the live stream is really important. I've been talking about it on my YouTube channel, of course, but also on my podcast and on the blog and on other podcasts that I happen to be a guest on, just talking about it as much as possible. And the other thing about this is, I know a lot of people who go live on Facebook, for example, to hardly anybody, but then they end up using that content and doing it in really interesting ways, like the repurposing thing I was talking about earlier, taking clips from it, then sharing those clips, thus then introducing more people to the fact that you are going live for a certain number of days. And I think if you can build in, and this is what we haven't done here, if you can build in challenges, for example, like, hey, for the next 30 days, I want to challenge you, come in live every morning so you can get some support related to this challenge. I think that can go a very long way. All right, I saw another super chat come in. Super chat from Rafal. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate you. And yeah, let's keep this going. So at the half-hour mark, we're going to do some website reviews like we did yesterday. It's going to be a lot of fun, and you're going to learn a lot from other people's examples. Hopefully, I might choose you, but I'm only going to do 2, and we're going to have some fun. So yeah, tomorrow should be really, really exciting. I'm going to see if I can have a really good approach with the live stream so that we can capture a solid YouTube video in the middle of it, and then I can see if I can actually repurpose it for the same day. So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Cool. Good morning, everybody. Says Warriors Roundtable. Whatever your vision is, get some. A year from now, you may wish you had started today. Absolutely. This is an opportunity for many people right now. Ben says, hey, Pat, how do you see if the channel name you want isn't taken? I'm not exactly sure how you can check that. You can actually try to see if you have the ability to create that name, and obviously it'll tell you if it's taken right away. But you might be able to type in the channel name in YouTube and then filter by channel and see if that channel exists. Now, I will tell you a quick story about the Pat Flynn channel. So, by the way, this channel here is called Smart Passive Income. That's what it was started at. But you can, after a certain point in time, create a nice sort of short link or a vanity URL for your YouTube channel here. And I wanted Pat Flynn, right? So it was youtube.com/user/smartpassiveincome, but I wanted youtube.com/Pat Flynn. Unfortunately, it was taken by a person who had only one video on their channel, and it was uploaded 11 years ago. And I reached out to YouTube. It took a number of asks, like I think 4 or 5 times reaching out to them. But they finally came back and said, hey, this person hasn't logged in for the last 3 or 4 years. Sure, we'll give it to you. And I was like, what? Like, I couldn't believe it. Bruh. That actually happened. So yeah, it can definitely be something that if it is taken, but it's not sort of active, you may be able to still retrieve it, or at least the vanity URL. Thank you, Hey Archer, for the super chat. That means a lot. Pat, I would love to have you on our podcast. I know you're busy, but we talk all about purpose. Shoot me an email, pat@patflynn.com. I am accepting offers right now to get on other people's shows, especially because the story is very relevant right now. However, there are a lot of people who are asking for that, but hey, if you don't email me, we can't make it happen. So I can't guarantee it, but yeah, shoot me an email, pat@patflynn.com. Pavel says, what should I do when I want to make an affiliate website, but in order to get the links from the program, I have to present the website that I'm building. Should I build with no links at the beginning? So a couple things you can do. I've heard people succeed in, if this is the case, you want to sign up, but you don't have the website yet, you can actually let them know that you are in the process and show them some of the ideas that you have and some of the content that you're going to be writing. Oftentimes, it just takes a little bit of care to show that you are working on this for them to go, okay, you're actually working on this, so we'll approve it. Also, the fact that you're reaching out shows that you're serious about this. What they essentially don't want to do is just open it to everybody in the world, and that's oftentimes why they have this sort of filter in place to make sure that people apply and the websites are available. Very rarely is it actually an extensive website review. So I would just try that first and see what happens, Pavel. And if that doesn't go through, you can ask what the requirements are in that conversation so that you can get those sort of minimum viable websites up and hopefully get approved from there. Hey Archer, thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate that, my friend. 2 thumbs down at the start. LOL, now you know they are just doing it to do it. That's funny. By the way, we do have a like goal today, 200 likes. If we get to that, I'm going to do a random giveaway for a signed copy of my book, Superfans, and that'll only happen if we get to 200. So we have until 8:45, so 42 minutes from now to hit 200. And we're on our way. We're almost halfway there, which is totally cool. Good morning, says Grandma Goody. I'm late to the party, Pat reminded us, and I still went on auto mode. Better late than never. Yes, Wednesdays are a little bit unique. I start a little bit early so we can get the full hour in because I end early for a mastermind call that I am involved in. Jennifer says, so are we joining Pat Flynn as the crash test dummy tomorrow? Yes, so that is actually true. So for those of you who came on late, tomorrow we're going to do an experiment. I'm going to see if I can film a YouTube video while going live that I can then just turn into that YouTube video later in the afternoon. So we're going to see how that goes down. Gabriella says, hey, Pat, just getting started with my podcast and realize I also want to work with people like you who develop podcast courses, videos used to teach people. Any tips on standing out when emailing companies? Shoot a video. Honestly, the quickest, easiest way to stand out would be to shoot a video for somebody or another company. A really quick video that just introduces them to you. I think this will help you stand out for sure because not everybody's doing it. If you just simply send an email and an email alone, it's just going to be buried with everybody else's text-only emails. So I think standing out a little bit shows that you are working really hard to get the attention, but also you're building that personable sort of interaction. You're building that connection much quicker than other people. Honestly, when people send me a video asking me for something, I am more likely to at least see it and pay attention to it. I almost feel bad not watching a person's video if they've spent the time to create one. I get a lot of emails that I never see. A lot of it is because my assistant sees them all and then sort of forwards them to me. Malini, thank you so much for that super chat. That's amazing. I appreciate you. And Gift Wrapped Unbiz, Sue, thank you for yours as well. I'll answer both of your questions or talk about those in just a moment. But to continue answering this question, standing out is really important. I think also a big way to stand out is to not email people asking for something, but email or reach out to those people you want to reach out to, giving something, offering something, some sort of value, something that relates to something they're working on. So, this happened. This can happen with anybody. You don't need any qualifications to dig a little deeper to understand what a company might actually be working on right now and what they could use help with, and then how you might be able to fit into there, or how you can reach out to for example, a podcaster that you want to be a guest on their show for, and understanding what they haven't talked about yet in their archive and what you could do to fill in the gaps and fill in those holes and make it great for them. So just a little bit of time and care goes a very, very good way. Chris says, I had a question in mind earlier today, but now I'm blanking out. That's okay. That is okay. It'll come back to you. Sue says, super chat, do you ever add guests to your live videos here through Ecamm? I hear you can with Skype. Thoughts? So I haven't done it yet. I have had one guest on via my phone, meaning voice running through the Rodecaster Pro, because you can actually connect your phone via Bluetooth or wired to have the audio come in via the Rodecaster Pro to then be fed to you, which is pretty amazing. But I haven't had a guest live in here yet. That is something that I eventually want to add on. I'm sort of waiting for a couple things. Number one, yes, I know Skype can do that. But number two, I know that, or I believe that Ecamm is working on something like that that's just built into Ecamm. So I'm not quite sure when that's coming out, but I've heard rumors. I don't know. I don't have confirmation about that. But it is something I'd like to do in the future. I don't know how this may or may not be done or how it will be added to the programming, but it is sort of the next step for me for sure. So thank you for asking that. It is going to happen at some point. Whether it's special guests who come on, who I sort of get on the line with ahead of time to plan it, or, much like how we do the website reviews, sort of picked at random and for people who can sort of call in. Yeah, I think that'll be interesting. Would that be something you would love to see? Let me know if you're watching this in the chat, if you'd like to see guests on, and what kinds of guests would you like to see on? What do you think would be most valuable? It'd be very helpful for you to answer that question for me, and I'll see what I can do. Melanie says, super chat, $10. Thank you so much. That's going to feed a lot of people. Happy Earth Day, Pat. Thank you for all you do. This daily show is my motivation and also help me make some new friends. Your free stuff is an insight to new opportunities. Very grateful. Hey, very grateful for you. Thank you for saying that. And I'm glad you're here. I'm glad all of you are here. And I'm glad that you're making new friends here. The community here is amazing. Everybody's fantastic. And as you can see, there's even conversations that happen after the live stream in the Slack channel that Earn and a bunch of other people sort of founded for the members here. And you don't have to pay anything to be a part of that. But you, I believe, can get the link down below in the description here on YouTube if you're watching on YouTube, which is the only place you can be watching this because that's the only place I stream to. I choose to only focus on you, the audience here at YouTube. So thank you for that super chat, by the way. Another super chat came in from Electronic Trombone DJ, which sounds amazing. I don't know what that might look like or how that would behave, but I think that's really cool. Electronic Trombone DJ. Great name. Thank you so much for the super chat. That's going to help a lot of people. And then Jonathan, the travel tourist. Thank you so much for that super chat as well. Challenge, best of 3 Rocket League. You decide game type. Winner gets dissected on Ask Pat. What say you, good sir? I hope you know that I actually play Rocket League. Like, I'm not going to lose. I might lose. I haven't played in a long time, but I like the idea of little challenges like this. I was also thinking, again, I'm always asking you, I'm crowdsourcing from the audience here, from you, what we can do to make this show better. I'm wondering if, like, one day a week, we could just have, like, a casual day where we're playing video games. I might be streaming those games, and maybe it's against some of you. I don't know. It might be fun to just mess around on Fridays a little bit and have a casual day. I'm not sure if that would be cool or not, or I don't know. I'm just trying to mix it up a little bit and experiment. That's really what this and even entrepreneurship is all about. Trying new things, gauging the response, pivoting, adjusting. We'll see. But I am down. Shoot me an email, pat@patflynn.com. I'd love to learn more about the Rocket League situation and how we might be able to make that work. Thank you all for the super chats. Cool. Let's keep going here with questions and answers. And then not at the half-hour mark, but at the 20-minute mark, I'll do a couple website reviews. I forgot that I shifted everything 15 minutes earlier today. Tarek says, Pat, you're broadening people's vision and changing lives, bro. Gratitude. Thank you so much. Lowell says, casual day. That's awesome. Yeah, or like a happy hour. I don't know. Maybe it's a second live stream on Friday that is just for fun. I don't know. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I like hearing and seeing the chat here. Game day, dude. Nick, yes, I like that. Game day. That would be fun. Once a week stream from a ball pit. That's not very sanitary right now. Anyway, we'll see. I'm gonna go back to these chats later on and watch them so I can see what the answers are. Pivot. Somebody watches Friends, says Trigger Beats. I thought that said Tiger Beats, which isn't Tiger Beats a old school teen magazine? Anyway, I'm getting a little bit off track here. Okay, Mark says, email list. If you have multiple projects and websites with different purposes like you do you keep a separate list for each website? Do you ever put them all together for mailings? So the way that I think it's easiest to understand is you can have a ConvertKit account, for example, or an email account for different businesses. It's possible. However, it doesn't always make sense. For example, you got to pay attention to the one from email that it can come from. If all those businesses relate, then it would make more sense than if they were different. I have multiple ConvertKit accounts, one for SPI Media, which is the main one. I have another one for patflynn.com, which is separate. And it's separate because those are literally separate businesses now. SPI Media, which houses the team, which is where Smart Passive Income lives, is there, and that's where my courses and all those things live. And then patflynn.com, or Flynn Industries LLC, happens to be FlynnCon, this YouTube channel, any workshops that I might do, those kinds of things live there, my books, etc. Stuff that's like only me, and then that's like my focus. Personal stuff, like it was pivoted earlier this year so that I can have room to grow on the personal side of things, especially when it comes to education and teaching kids, entrepreneurship, and those kinds of things, which will live on my personal brand, not on smartpassiveincome.com. So when it comes to specifically emails, you can have them on the same account. However, if it is a separate business, like legit separate business with a separate profit and loss statement, balance sheet, all that stuff, then it should hypothetically be separated as well, because you don't want to have blurred lines between those different corporations, and you reduce the power of having those businesses separate. And you don't want to run into trouble as a result of that. But for a long time, I had under one ConvertKit account, I had Smart Passive Income. I had, a list related to specifically FlynnCon. I had even the security guard training stuff there too, which didn't work out as well because, again, it came from a different email address. But yeah, it's possible. I don't ever send everybody at the same time an email. Typically, the emails are sent to just specific groups of people. So if you want the digest, you get the digest on Fridays. If you are, in podcasting under my courses, you're going to get a lot more stuff related to the podcast because I know you're in the podcasting spot, which would be fun. And by the way, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier. Just Samson says, Pat Flynn t-shirt repeat alert. Hey, you caught me. It's the first shirt that I've repeated, by the way. Oh, for show. I knew, of course, you would find it, the person who's been here 37 days in a row. I did order a new batch of shirts, so those will be coming in very soon. But yes, gonna happen. It's gonna happen, promise. Amuse Muse says, with books you published, what kind of editing steps did you take before publishing? Did you do any sort of beta reading for it? So a couple things happened related to my books. So number one, first draft, right? And then a reading of the first draft and just really understanding, well, what should remain and what shouldn't remain. That's sort of like the first pass. And then the second draft was written and more stories were added in. A lot of stuff was changed during that process. The second draft is actually what I feel is the most important part, because the first draft is just you getting everything out of your head onto the, a transcript or manuscript, and it's going to be a mess. Like, just knowing that it's going to be a mess is really key for you, just moving forward and not being in editing mode as you go along. Then as you go for the second pass, that's really where things start to get really structured. But we did hire a few editors. We hired a content editor. So this is something who, this is somebody who reads your books and understands, not like, hey, what's the spelling or the grammar, and if that's good, that's a copy editor who comes later. A content editor or a book structural editor is somebody who goes in to see, okay, does this book even make sense? Is everything in the right order? Are there any holes? Will this continue to keep people reading through all the way? Like, that's a very important part of the process, because oftentimes we're so deep into our own books that we don't see what it's like to come in brand new to it. And it makes sense to us because we're writing it, but it doesn't make sense to somebody who might be coming in fresh. And so a person who can come in fresh, somebody who you could hire, a content editor, can come in and see, well, does this make sense? Is it all laid out correctly? Is there missing pieces? That's really important, because then you can fill in those gaps, or you can remove stuff if it's superfluous. and too much, and you can take it out and make it better from there. And then there's the copy editor, and of course, all along the way, I'm reading it multiple times. I'm giving it to people. I'm giving it to super fans to read to get feedback on, and I think that's an important piece of the puzzle too. If you happen to have people in your audience or even family members who could take an early read for you to in exchange give brutally honest feedback, I think that goes a very long way too. Cool. Kaya says, oh, that'll be fun. Game day last night. I was not last in damage in the battlefield, so that's something. I didn't grow up playing games, so hey, not last. Hey, not last is good. All right. Me too. Wouldn't you want a t-shirt from Pat? Yeah, I've continued to have people ask me for swag, especially from the Income Stream show. I'm still 50-50 on it. You need to help convince me that you want a shirt or a mug. Maybe a mug might be kind of cool, or some sort of something. I'm just still 50-50 on it because I don't want to do it just to do it and sell it. I want to do it because it would be something that would be fun and encourage the community and maybe be an inside joke. I don't know. What should that shirt be? What should be on that mug? You let me know, and I'll see if I can make it happen. But I'm still I want it to be like, that totally makes sense. I don't want it to just be like hey, here's a shirt that I made, and I don't know. Like, I want it to be a heck yes for sure. Cher says, Pat, you have said 3 episodes to put out together, and I'm working on them, but should I submit one so I can get approved by iTunes? You can do that. However, I like to not... So technically, yes, you can do that. However, there may be some people who find your show, because it's brand new, that would not have the opportunity to go through more than one. But you will get approved by Apple if you follow the process. If you're in Power Up Podcasting, you'll see that submission process is early on in the week. It's like 7 days before you go live. So you still have multiple chances to, should those 3 episodes not go through. I would worry about, because I've had people do this before. They see the one up there and they're like, okay, I'm just gonna launch with one. And it's really important that you launch your podcast with 3 episodes so you can have more episodes for people to go through. So yeah, I think that's really important. You could do that if you want, if you just want to make sure, but the process has never failed for people who've done it the way that I teach, which is you get those 3 episodes ready and then you submit your feed. They're already there, and you could focus on launch week while that's now available on marketing and getting getting everybody excited and getting the show ready and then getting everything, ready for your email list and social media during that week. Rob says, what is Rocket League? Rocket League is a video game. Imagine you're in a RC car, but you're playing soccer with a giant ball. So it's like cars, but soccer all in one. It's really amazing. Lindsay says, Pat, you're the best. Thanks so much for doing these shows. The interaction with you, all these lovely people is priceless. Thank you so much for that. That means a lot. I'm doing my best here. Aberrant Art says, for Pat, any suggestions for tips for a sole provider of the household with little savings trying to switch from a full-time job to your own business? Yeah, the best thing I could recommend is see how you can get a result for somebody as soon as possible. One person, one result. You can make some money in that process, or at least use that opportunity to test to see whether or not you can get a process started to help those kinds of people. I would recommend checking out Smart from Scratch and going through a video, 1 or 2 videos per day to go through that course. It's free right now on smartpassiveincome.com/toolkit. However, we have given away over $2.3 million worth of that course, which is amazing. And it's helping people like you who are just getting started to understand, well, where should I focus my efforts? Where should I put my time and energy? And by where, I mean not just like what should I create, but who should I serve? And that's going to help you out more than anything. And I think that not starting with should I create a course, should I write an ebook? No, like manually help a person get a result. And freelancing. If you listen to Emergency Podcast episode number 2 here at smartpassiveincome.com/toolkit, the second half of that episode, Emergency episode number 2, is all about helping people who have a skill turn that into a freelancing career to begin to start making money sooner than later. And that's sort of where I would recommend. So I wouldn't start with building a website. I wouldn't start with making the business cards. I would start with getting a certain group of people, one person in that group, a result of some kind. And that can help you get started much sooner than later. Nick, I like the idea of the Yeti cup that we can brand for the show. That's pretty cool. All right, let's keep going here. I'm gonna do a couple more questions and then we'll get into some website reviews. Jason says, hello, Pat and everyone else. I've returned to the stream after some intense studying days. Finally finished my online exams and feeling great. Hey, bruh. Congratulations to you for finishing up. Hopefully we can use this energy to maybe create something new or get inspiration to finally start that project you wanted to work on. But well done finishing your exams. That's awesome. Congrats to you. Parenting, passports, and profits. I love the 3 Ps. Greetings from France, Pat. Any tips on staying focused on the camera in front of you as opposed to the computer screen off to the side with tools, comments, etc.? It's just gonna take some training to do. If you need to put a giant fat red arrow pointing to the camera lens, it's just gonna take practice. And literally, like I used to struggle with that a lot. I would often talk to the camera but going down like this. So yeah, it's really interesting. If you are on a webcam on your computer, this is a little bit harder because you don't have a big giant lens staring at you. You have a little tiny dot with a camera inside it, and oftentimes you just forget because it's so hard to see. Like I'm reminded when I look up to look right here because the lens is literally pointing right at me, right? Or this view here, it's a webcam, and the webcam has a very clear indication of where the lens is. If you're on a laptop, like this, then you're gonna know that there's gonna be like a little area right here. What I would recommend doing is, if you're having trouble reminding yourself, take a Post-it note, cut a little arrow out of it, and point it right at the camera. And then just be conscious about the idea of wanting to look straight at the camera when you're talking to people. If you're on a Zoom call, this is really important too, because oftentimes we'll be on a Zoom call and we'll even look at ourselves while talking like this, but it's like, hey, Pat, my eyes are up here. And I'm like, oh, sorry, that was rude. And so just learning to look right at the camera, even though the person you're speaking to, their face is on the screen, you want to look at the camera. It's just going to take some time. I have had an idea in the past, but it's a little bit too beyond my realm of understanding, of developing some sort of webcam lens that has a screen built on the lens itself, so that at least you can see the person that you're speaking to and you're still looking at them. And it's, like when I do Zoom calls or interviews and it's video, I hardly ever look at the screen. I'm looking at the camera, trying to pretend like the person's like inside of there watching me. Cool. By the way, somebody has asked a question related to Amazon and them cutting their commissions. The last video that I came out with that is not an income stream video, if you actually go to the channel, you'll find it. And it was a video about alternatives and what to do and my thoughts and stance on Amazon cutting their commissions. And so I'd recommend you watch that. I did have the opportunity to create a video for you about that. By the way, we are still 80 away from our goal of 200 likes. So if you haven't hit like yet, now would be the time to do it. If we get to 200, I'm gonna award somebody at random here in the room a signed copy of my book, Superfans. In the meantime, it is that time during the stream to do what you know we need to do, which is our website reviews. So, if you could do me a quick favor, put in your URL in the chat and do it in a way that YouTube will allow me to see it, because they don't just allow you to pop in. They don't allow you to pop in the URL just as it's normally written in the address bar. So creatively share with me your URL. I'm gonna pick 2 people. We're gonna do some quick website reviews before we finish up today, and that'll be it. By the way, Kevin, wow, thank you so much for that super chat, my friend. Morning, Pat. Buy some more meals for those kids. Thank you for everything you do. Thank you, my friend. That is, bruh, amazing. Thank you so much. Okay, so website reviews. Let's see if I can pick some people. Okay, let's see. That come through? Okay, that didn't come through. Okay, let's do this one instead. WHTA.com. All right. So we're going to go with, no, that's not right. WTAA.com. WTHA.com. That didn't go through. Oh, WTHA.com. Okay, and let me pick one more person here. And let me write this down so I don't miss it. Let's see. Okay, so first we're going to go with this one here, which is from the World Table Hockey Association. Fantastic. Love it. I'm very interested to learn more about this. Okay, so let's do a website review really quick. So boom, 3 minutes. Here we go. So World Table Hockey Association. I do got to say that if I didn't know that that was what it was coming here, it would be a very tricky thing for me to understand what this is really quickly off the bat. The logo, although great, it looks awesome, is very hard to read at that small scale. Also, I see this pop-up show up. I want to analyze this really quick. Subscribe now to get special offers, news, discounts, downloads, and more. Okay, not bad. There's some stuff there for me. Oftentimes when we have a pop-up like this, it's like, hey, join my newsletter and you'll get, more emails. Nobody wakes up in the morning wanting more emails, but special offers, news, discounts about a topic that I'm really interested in doing or learning about. Yeah, that's great. So your first name, your email address, your organization. I'm curious if your organization is that important to put there or if you can collect that later. So that's not bad. Now let's see. There's a lot going on here. Our writers, great. Table hockey games, hockey equipment. So is this table hockey or regular hockey? Like, do you need these for playing table hockey? I guess maybe you do. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. I don't know where you want me to start. That's the thing that I'm worried about here. There's a lot going on. Oftentimes, you could benefit by having a, hey, new here, click here to learn more. Click here to get started. I don't know if this is for people who happen to be sort of just enthusiasts and more hobbyists, in which case I think pictures like this are really interesting versus players. I'm not quite sure where you want me to go first. You have a podcast, which is really cool, a donation to the WTHA. Maybe you might want to look at Patreon as a model to get members versus having people donate, because I think Patreon could provide a really interesting opportunity to not just have one-time donations, but for people who are enthusiasts, monthly donations, and they get access to, higher level things or free things that you might have access to. Let's see, NHL about, let's go to the about really quick. Vision statement, the sports public considered table hockey a competitive sport and one day become an Olympic sport. Wow, that'd be really cool. So I think what I would want to see is pictures like that show me people playing and how I can relate to this. Again, I'm not in this space, so I'm not quite sure. And I see NHL here too, so you have ads, but I don't know if National Hockey League, is that related? There's a lot of real estate up here that could be used for some messaging to really, I like the vision that you have there, but it took me going to the About page to figure that out. Table hockey is a competitive sport, parentheses, and we believe it should be an Olympic sport one day. That would allow me to connect with you and understand right off the bat just how important this is to you, and for those who are very much enthusiasts of this, to connect with you right away versus a homepage, which this homepage looks very early 2000s, I gotta say, in terms of just how it's structured. And again, I don't know what you want me to do first. I see stuff here that's for sale, but I'm not quite sure how that relates. Games, books. I mean, it's not a bad website. I'm being a little bit picky here. But this is really cool, this table hockey stuff. Read. Let's see what your blog posts look like. Table hockey in Lithuania, Ukraine, Yana. Yeah, I think building the community here is going to be your most important asset, right? Just like those people who own hobby train websites, those are thriving businesses because they have the super nerds who are all about trains all in one spot. And your goal should be to collect all of the world's table hockey players all in one spot, right? You need to step up and become the premium spot for all things World Hockey Table and step into it. Don't just kind of hide your vision. Make that a part of your sales process in having people want to join you on this mission of yours, right? I see it on the About page, but it should be right there up front if that's truly how you feel in your mission, right? Isn't the mission the most important thing, and to have people really connect with you and what you're doing? So I would have that be up front more so than not. All right, let's go to one more website review. We're going to go to, let's see if this pops up. Okay, here's the website here, whatisyourwhy.com. And I really like, I'm going to refresh this to see if you could see that sort of effect that happens. So look at how it sort of zooms in and comes back. That's a very new type of way to interact on a website. It's to have it a little bit of movement in there. I've seen websites where there's like a looping video. That was very popular for a while, but that became a little bit distracting. This sort of like initial zoom sort of situation was really cool. So let's see if I can understand exactly what this website is about right away. It's not too late to become who you could have been. Rediscover your purpose and reinvent your life with world-class success coaching. Very clear, very upfront. It's almost like you're calling me out for feeling a certain way, which can be very tricky, right? So for example, websites that are like about being happier and stress-free, you have to have the person on the other end admit that they are not happy or admit that they are stressful, which oftentimes we're afraid to do for things like that. So this is taking the negative approach, meaning like, hey, this didn't happen, but now you have a solution here. So there could be some really interesting experiments in A/B testing. I would do some A/B testing on that headline alone. It's so bold and beautiful. You could see what kind of language could work best. Is the in-your-face upfront language like, hey, you know, you could have been so much better, but I'm here to help you. That's very aggressive, right? And so I would imagine that maybe there's some other tests that you can run with maybe asking questions like, do you feel unfulfilled in life? Do you feel like you were meant for so much more? If yes, then maybe you're in the right spot, kind of thing, or then you are in the right spot. So again, A/B testing to understand how a person behaves after they see a certain thing, just changing that one thing and one thing only could be a really interesting test that you could do. Free assessment, free masterclass. What's the assessment? Which one should I click on? Who's for what? I'd love to know more about those, sell those a little bit. I like how clear they are, that this is the first thing you want me to do, but perhaps some sort of language or something that tells me, or some even parenthetical underneath the button text language that can tell me, you know, what am I assessing? Now let me click on this to see. You're either living your best life or just killing time. Take our free life assessment quiz for your answer. This is going to be a tough ask. I don't know if this is the right language to use to get people to take this quiz. Because likely, if you have attracted a person to take this quiz, they are not living their best life. They're just killing time. And I can imagine it being something that's like, I don't know if I want to find out the answer, right? I think it might be better off to understand, well, where might there be the best opportunities, right? So take this assessment to discover where the biggest opportunities are there for you. And yes, it can still tell me that I'm not living the best life, but it can then show me the answers, which I'm sure you do. You guide me, hopefully, after I get these answers. Or you can tell me a little bit more about where there might be more opportunities, right? Again, I'm trying to take the positive spin on this because this is very, I would imagine a person landing on this website potentially getting even more frustrated, potentially even getting more just, you know, sad about where they're at in life. You're either living your best life or just killing time. Let's try this free masterclass, by the way. I want to see that. Again, beautiful website and wow, just gorgeous. Webinar launching soon. 5 shifts you can make today to live your best life. See, that's good. It's like here are five maybe small things that you can do. And I think that might be sort of, again, a little bit less of friction or overwhelm there. Yeah, as you can see, everybody's loving the visual effects. Really good. So that's why I'm focusing on the language right now. There's nothing I need to say about how this is structured. Webinar coming soon. Might be interesting to collect an email list of people specifically who are signing up to get early access to that. So that could be very interesting. And I would just even try to maybe now, before even the webinar happens, to add some bullet points in there to talk about, well, what are these 5 shifts and why a person shouldn't miss this? Sign up below. Let's keep going. I know we're almost out of time here, but if you're feeling trapped or unfulfilled with the direction your life is headed, we can help. Play video. So these videos are often very popular. They work really well. I don't have the sound on right now. See, do I have the sound? No, I turned it down. Curious to see how this video is doing on your YouTube channel.
And not sure how to get all.
Cool, just came up. Comments are off. All good. It's serving its purpose here, which is great. Climb to your highest potential with success coaching. Start your journey. Let's see where you want me to go. To reserve your personal success coaching. Okay, the one thing I will say, here we go, Trevor, Daniel, I have to go to the About page to know who I'm learning from. I would love to see more about the kinds of perhaps people that you want to reach out to. So is this just for everybody in general? Because the reason I ask that is if you build a business for everybody, it's going to serve nobody. Who specifically are you trying to help? Is it parents? Is it business owners? Or is there a specific kind of person? Is it for specifically men? Is it specifically for all kinds of people, maybe middle age? Or is it for those who are feeling like in their 40s and 50s, like they want to reinvent themselves, for example? And then I would love to see your faces here on the homepage, right? So I'm not going to start my journey unless I know who I'm starting this journey with, right? Imagine Luke Skywalker, like just getting a note from Yoda versus actually meeting Yoda, right? Like that doesn't work. You have to meet the guide before you choose to work with them. And even after you meet them, it's going to take a little bit of understanding on really what is that person's purpose before you can then help them. So that's what's missing here. But wow, what a beautiful website. And I think the language could be interesting to experiment with. And then also showing up and having a person understand, because this is such a vulnerable thing to admit and to think about. You want to know if you can trust the person on the other end. It almost feels like with what I saw until I went to the About page that, this is just some company collecting information about how I wish things were different. I want to know who's behind it, if that makes sense. But yes, very nice website and well done. Cool. Good stuff. Great website. Wow, probably one of the most gorgeous ones that we've seen so far in terms of how it's designed. So that's why I think working on the language could work really well. Cool. Tamil says, but imagine a quiz saying, are you obese or not? I still might take it though. Yeah, I mean, are you obese or not? That has the indication that, well, you're either in one camp or the other, and there's a specific sort of calculation that perhaps happens based on height and weight and all that kind of stuff, versus one that says basically or infers like, how obese are you, which would be something that people would be afraid to do, right? So there's again, the language is really important here, and I think that's where the focus should be, if that makes sense. Kevin says, not looking for a shout out, just doing what I can to make a small difference, but thank you for that. Oh, and purchasing Amped Up in a few months. Awesome. So you have a podcast, you want to amp it up, which is great, which means using what you now have available to you now that you have a podcast to grow your show even more. The A in Amped Up means automate. So we're going to take some of you out of the production so that you can put it into the M, which is the marketing to grow your show, and the P, which is to profit and turn it into a business. So good job, Kevin. Looking forward to seeing you in there at some point. Love it. Lindsay says, is it a must to have photos and videos of you on your website to make it more personal, relational? I would say you can make it feel personal without using your face or name. It would be in the personality of the writing, but personality has to come from somewhere. It could be in the, in the design partly, but it's definitely sped up if a face is there. I mean, just think about it. If you were looking for, and again, it depends on what the business and the offers are about. But if you're talking about something very personable with people, such as where they are in their life, wouldn't you want to know who you are learning from and not just share that information with anyone? So it would benefit you to have some pictures and some personality on the website to understand, okay, well, yes, you are the coach for me. This is why podcasts, by the way, work very well. This is why live streams work very well if you have a coaching type business or consultation type business, because you can almost like sample your work ethic, the way that you do things, the personality and who a person's going to sign up with in those moments, right? That's why it's so much better than just text alone, podcasts especially, because you can actually bring people on and coach them live and show them, just like with Ask Pat, how you do what you do, and then you can have people be interested. Yes, that's exactly what I want for me. And now they're going to want to hire you, right? I've had so many people ask me for one-on-one help since Ask Pat shifted from answering voicemail questions to now doing actually one-on-one coaching live on Ask Pat. I don't do one-on-one coaching, but it's been interesting to see the influx in people asking because, and even offering to pay for that. I don't do that because of my time, and I have very specific purpose on where my time goes, and it's not one-to-one right now. It's one-to-many, but yeah, it's pretty cool. What is your wisest? Pat, thank you. You're welcome. I'm glad that that was helpful. And hey, everyone, sorry, I was taking notes. Yeah, thank you. That's very helpful for all of us to see it as well, so I'm very thankful that you stepped up. Liz says, just signed up for AMP 2 weeks ago. Thank you so much. You're awesome. Samson is begging for those thumbs up. We are quite a bit of ways away. I don't know if we're going to hit it, to be honest. But hey, we'll save it for tomorrow. KS says, I was just thinking how I really like we are sitting around the dining room table having this live session with Pat. It's my morning meeting. That makes me so happy, KS, because this is exactly why I'm doing this and the feeling that I want to have. I don't want it to feel like necessarily a presentation. I want it to feel like a round table, like we're sort of all in this together, and you can feel that here in the chat, which is really amazing. We have 250 people watching live right now, which is totally incredible. Thank you so much for taking the time today. If you're brand new to the channel here, thank you so much. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you can get access to the videos when they come out. Plus, make sure you come in live every morning as much as you want, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. I'm going to do everything I can to help and continue to serve you. I'm going to continue to make this the best live stream show available. And you know, I keep saying this, but I can't. I mean, this is what motivates me. These people who have late night shows or daytime television shows, they're all at home now too, just like I'm at home right now. The playing field is level, people. So now is the time that we can all step up and be a leader and be a helper in our space and just use the phones and the cameras that we have to build that audience, to create and to become somebody else's show. And that's the purpose of why I'm doing this and why I'm going daily, because I want more comments like what KS just said, how this feels just like a part of your day, a show that you don't want to miss, like how it was when I was sick one day and was watching Price is Right. Like I had to watch Price is Right every single day. So have I ever used Builderall? No, I have not used Builderall. Kingdom says, Pat, continue on serving your gift. Bigger things are going to open up for you if you continue to serve your gift. The greatest enemy of progress is your last success. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. And I'm not going anywhere. I appreciate that. My daughter and I always watch Pat on the big screen. He is life-size on my TV. I've seen pictures, and it's very scary. So, Karma, thank you so much for being here. Hello to you. Hello to your daughter. Hi. And thanks for taking the time to hang out. It is the best live stream available, says BS with Becca. Are you BSing me? Maybe. Maybe not. Thank you. All right, we got 2 minutes to get 15 likes. 2 minutes to get 15 likes. I'm going to give somebody a copy of Superfans signed at random. This has been a lot of fun. And again, I'm going to continue to do what I can to improve it. If you come on tomorrow, I'm going to do an experiment. I'm going to try to, within the middle of the live stream, be able to create a whole YouTube video right in the middle. So you're going to get a sort of behind the scenes of me creating a YouTube video. I may do it in a way where, you know, I have these jump cuts and I mess up, and you'll hear me mess up. You'll see me sort of in production mode at the time, which I think would be more useful because that's how I normally create videos and that's what I'm most comfortable with. As opposed to just trying to go one full shot, like one take Jake. That's almost impossible. But hey, I want to experiment and see what happens, and I'll be prepared with some content. So it will be something that you'll get a behind the scenes for, which would be really great. Wow, we hit the goal literally in 1 minute. Wow, with 1 minute to spare. Bruh. Incredible. So here is what we are going to do. I'm going to scroll through this, and you'll see me scroll through. I don't know if you can see my screen there, but this right here has all the comments from the entire stream here. There has been over 1,200 comments, which is crazy. So I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to go at random, and to the person who I select, send an email to me, and my assistant will know that it's coming, and then we'll send you a copy of Superfans. It may not come right away because of, you know, stuff that's happening in the world right now, but it's going to get to you, I promise. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Where did my... Oh, Kingdom Culture. Hey, right here. Swear. I swear. Kingdom Culture. What is your why? There is a new normal use, and then there is abuse, which is abnormal use. So Kingdom Culture, send an email to pat@patflynn.com. Congratulations, you have a signed copy of Superfans going your way. So Kingdom Culture, you're amazing. And congratulations. We are at the end of the show now. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, and we're going to talk more tomorrow. I'm going to answer more questions. We're going to have that experimental YouTube video within the live stream itself. You'll see me do that behind the scenes, so make sure you don't miss it. 8 a.m. tomorrow, regular start time. I know we started a little early today, which is why we're ending early today, because I have a meeting to go to right now. But hey, Team Flynn, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Make sure you hit up this webpage here, smartpassiveincome.com/toolkit, to get access to the third emergency podcast episode. You can listen to that on the SPI feed, of course. And man, just thank you so much for being here and starting my day the right way every single day. I'm here for you because you're here for me. And take care. Hashtag Team Flynn for the win. Peace out.
This is the income stream to help you achieve your dream, all while we keep it clean. This is the income stream. It's the kind of show where you can come and go, but then you leave inspired with no fee required. The income stream with Pat Flynn.
Peace. Love y'all.
Bruh.